After coming to know about the concept and explanation as well as the characteristics of law, the next question that naturally hits our mind is what are the sources of law? In this video, my dear students, I am going to explain the sources of law. According to political scientist Holland, there are 6 main sources of law. The first one that I'm now going to explain is the most ancient source of law, and which is the customs. We know the customs are the established habits, thoughts, beliefs, or regulations that have been prevailing in a society or a country for a very, very long time. And basically, they are not obligatory whenever they are not sanctioned, but the people tend to follow that out of social pressure. And most of the time, they are derived from positive morality, like you should do that and you should not do that, right? Whenever these customs have been prevailing in a state for a long time, they can later be sanctioned or formalized by the state or the authority or enforced by the ruling party, and then they can be considered as law. The best example that I can draw here is from the British law. In English common law, there is a system that if something has been prevailing or has been being done in the state for a long time without any objection, later the law will eventually recognize that fact, right? Recognize that fact. So that means a custom can be later be formalized and sanctioned by the state and can be termed as law. The next source of law that I'm going to discuss is the religion. We know religion has immense importance in every person's life, and in religion, almost in every religion, it's mentioned that what you should do, what you should not do, what are the justices, and what is the concept of injustice. So these concepts can be used as source of law. For example, the countries that are based on Islamic rule, they tend to follow their really Islamic law. For example, Saudi Arab, they follow the Quran or the Sunnah as their source of law. There are many countries that are the Hindu-based countries, and they follow Ramayana, Veda, or Gita as their sources of law. In many countries, marriage law or like inheritance law are taken from the religious system. For example, we know Hindu marriage law and inheritance law. On the other hand, Islamic or Muslim marriage law and inheritance law are quite different. So in our country, there are some differences in this law, and while doing any judgment or while doing any case related to marriage and inheritance, the religion-based marriage and inheritance laws are followed. Thus, religion can be source of law. The next source of law that I'm going to explain is the precedence of court. Now, I think this concept is quite new to you. So, let me explain. Is the verdict of the judges or judgment from the judiciary can be a source of law. For example, say you are the judge, you are judging, and such a case came to you that with the existing law, you cannot judge that. At that time, you can use your own acumen or your own sense of justice or your wisdom, and you can explain that situation or that case with your idea, right? At that time, instantly you have to give an explanation of the existing law which was not prevailing before. And later, that idea or that explanation can be considered or can be made a law. Thus, precedence of court, whenever there is no existing law, can be later termed as law and can be a source of law. The next concept is the scientific discussion. So here it's a very easy concept. We know the lawyers or the persons who are specialists in this case, judgment and judiciary, their discussions, their books, their evaluation can be a source of law since they are specialized in this case. So different kind of laws can be created from their discussion or their evaluation. For example, British lawyer, cold American lawyer, Kent, Muslim justice and scholar Imam Abu Hanifa, different kind of their opinions, their ideas, their evaluations were considered as law, and they were taken as the source of many laws. The next concept is the sense of justice. It is another source of law, and it's quite similar to the precedence of court. Similarly, when a justice fails to resolve any case either by using the existing law or for the absence of law, like similarly, say you are a judge and a case came to you that by existing law you cannot judge that, or there is no law for such kind of case. So at that time you can give verdict by, or I mean, if you're a judge, you can give your verdict by using your own social sense of justice. Thus, this sense of justice will be used as a very important source of law later. That means maybe that sense of justice can get a status of law later. So that means the sense of justice of a judge at a time whenever there is no existing law can later be considered as a source of law. So your justice or fairness, that means a judge's justice or fairness, can be source of law. The last concept or the last source is a very modern concept, which is the parliament. We know in modern democratic state, parliament is considered as source of law, and different kind of laws are made in the parliament. However, there are some other sources of law too. For example, by the decree of the president, a law can be created. By the constitution of constitution of the state, a law can be later created. By any international treaty or by ratification in any international law and convention, a law can be created. Say, for example, United Nations, for example, they made a rule where you ratified, say, about child right. Bangladesh went there and Bangladesh ratified that. Later, Bangladesh made that their country's rule too about child labor. So thus, by signing any international treaty or by ratifying any international convention, law can be made in a country too later. Thus, these can be sources of law too. So in this video, I discussed 6 sources of law. Listen to the video carefully, then read your textbook, underline the important sentences, and then if you still have any question, please feel free to ask me, comment below or comment in the Schoology app. Take care and stay well.